Shabbat Shalom, my beautiful brothers and sisters of Yahweh, our Elohim, and welcome. Welcome to our Shabbat Bible study. Tonight we're going to be studying Bereshith, which is Genesis, chapters 41 and 42. So go ahead and grab your Bibles and we'll get started tonight. I hope you all have had a really good week. Everything's gone smooth for you, and now we can just enjoy a very peaceful, restful Shabbat in Yah's Word. It's what we're supposed to be doing. I'm going to take a little drink here while we're getting ready to go. A little water. Ooh, warm today. Over 100 degrees. Alright, gang. Let's go ahead and get started this evening. Chapter 41 of Bereshith, which is Genesis. And it came to be, at the end of 2 years' time, that Pharaoh had a dream, and saw him standing by the river, and saw 7 cows come up out of the river, beautiful looking and fat, and they fed amongst the reeds. Then saw 7 other cows coming up after them out of the river, ugly and lean of flesh, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and lean of flesh cows ate up the 7 beautiful looking and fat cows. Then Pharaoh awoke. And he slept, and dreamed a second time, and saw 7 heads of grain coming up on one stalk, plump and good. And saw 7 lean heads, scorched by the east wind, coming up after them. And the 7 lean heads swallowed the 7 plump and complete heads. Then Pharaoh awoke, and saw it was a dream. And it came to be in the morning that his spirit was moved, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Mitzrayim, and all its wise men. And Pharaoh related to them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my crimes this day, when Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in confinement in the house of the captain of the guard, both me and the chief baker. Each one of us dreamed a dream in one night, he and I. Each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. And there was with us a Hebrew youth, a servant of the captain of the guard, and we related to him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. And it came to be, as he interpreted for us, so it came to be. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they hurriedly brought him out of the dungeon, and he shaved and changed his garments, and came to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one to interpret it. Now I myself have heard it said of you, that you understand a dream, to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. Let Elohim answer Pharaoh with peace. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, See, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river, and saw 7 cows come up out of the river, beautiful looking and fat, and they fed amongst the reeds. And then saw 7 other cows come up after them, poor and very ugly and lean of flesh, such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the lean of flesh and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. Yet, when they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were as ugly as at the beginning. Then I awoke. Also, I looked in my dream, and saw 7 heads coming up on one stalk, complete and good. Then saw 7 heads withered, lean, scorched by the east wind coming up after them. And the lean heads swallowed up the 7 good heads. And I spoke to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me. And Joseph said to Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. It is one dream. And the 7 lean and ugly cows which came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty heads scorched by the east wind are 7 years of scarcity of food. This is the word which I spoke to Pharaoh. Elohim has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. See, 7 years of great plenty are coming in all the land of Mizraim, but after them 7 years of scarcity of food shall arise, and all the plenty be forgotten in the land of Mizraim, and the scarcity of food shall destroy the land. And the plenty shall not be remembered in the land, because of the scarcity of food following, for it is very severe. And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the word is established by Elohim, and Elohim is hastening to do it. And now let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man, and set him over the land of Mizraim. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint overseers to the land, to take up 1/5 of the land of Mizraim in the 7 years of plenty. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And the food shall be for a store for the land, for the 7 years of scarcity of food, which shall be in the land of Mizraim. And do not let the land be cut off by the scarcity of food. And the word was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, could we find another like him, a man in whom is the spirit of Elohim? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since Elohim has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. Be over my house, you yourself, and at your mouth all my people shall kiss. Only in the throne I am greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Mizraim. And Pharaoh took his seal ring off his hand, and put it on Joseph's hand. And he dressed him in garments of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. And he had him ride in the 2nd chariot which he had. And they cried out before him, bow the knee. And he set him over all the land of Mizraim. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without a word from you let no man lift his hand or foot in all the land of Mizraim. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Ziphnath Paneah, and he gave him as a wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Mizraim. Now Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, and Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Mizraim. And in the 7 years of plenty the ground brought forth generously, and he gathered all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Mizraim, and laid up the food in the cities. He laid up in every city the food of the field which surrounded them. Thus Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he ceased counting, for it was without number. And to Joseph was born 2 sons, before the years of scarcity of food came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bore to him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for Elohim has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for Elohim has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenty which were in the land of Mizraim came to an end. And the 7 years of scarcity of food began to come. And Joseph had said, and the scarcity of food was in all the land, but in all the land of Mizraim there was bread. But when all the land of Mizraim hungered, and the people cried to Pharaoh for bread, Pharaoh said to all the Mizraites, Go to Joseph, do whatever he says to you. And the scarcity of food was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses, and sold to the Mizraites, and the scarcity of food was severe in the land of Mizraim. And all the earth came to Joseph in Mizraim to buy grain, because the scarcity of food was severe in all the earth. Alright, so that's chapter 41. And there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Now he's interpreted the dreams. Finally, the cupbearer remembered him, and he went and interpreted the dream of Pharaoh, the 2 dreams of Pharaoh. Explained to Pharaoh what's coming, because Yahweh is doing something in the land. Interesting, huh? Because everything everything that Yahweh does is for a purpose. So this is very interesting. So there's a famine coming, and Pharaoh says, whoa, okay, well I guess we're going to let you be in charge of this thing. If you can pull it off, awesome, you're second in command. So Joseph goes and starts taking in all the food into the storehouses and gets prepped for the 7 years of famine, while the 7 years of plenty are right there. While he does that, Pharaoh gives him a wife, and he has a couple of kids. And we've got Manasseh and Ephraim, which is very interesting because they're coming from an Egyptian bloodline. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? But Yah is doing something. So Yah is using all of this for his purpose. It's very interesting, though, that 2 of the tribes are going to be from Egyptian blood. So Joseph's doing his thing, storing up food and getting ready for the famine. So then, let's go over here to chapter 42, and we'll start reading here. Chapter 42. And when Jacob, saw that there was grain in Mizraim, Jacob said to his sons, Why do you look at each other? He said, See, I have heard that there is grain in Mizraim. Go down to that place and buy for us there, and let us live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain in Mizraim. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he said, lest some harm come to him. And the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the scarcity of food was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land. He was the one who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them. But he acted as a stranger to them and spoke to them harshly and said to them, Where do you come from? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food. So Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Why didn't they recognize him? Because he shaved. In Egypt, they were shaved clean. Bald head, no beard, totally shaved off. So Joseph, being in Pharaoh's court, he had to do as the Mizraimites do. and shave himself down. So his brothers didn't recognize him. Not only that, but he's aged a little bit now. He's been in Mizraim for quite a while. Verse 9, and Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed about them, and said to them, you are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land. And they said to him, no, my master, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's sons. We are trustworthy. Your servants are not spies. But he said to them, no, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land. And they said, your servants are 12 brothers, the son of one man in the land of Canaan. And see, the youngest was with our father today, and one is no more. And Joseph said to them, it is as I spoke to you, saying, you are spies. By this you shall be proven, by the life of Pharaoh. You do not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you, and let him bring your brother, while you are kept in the prison. So let your words be proven to see whether there is any truth in you, or else, by the life of Pharaoh, you are spies. And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. You notice this 3 day. Pretty interesting, huh? How long was Yehoshua in the tomb? 3 days. Yahweh using numbers to his whatever he's doing. Verse 18, now Joseph said to them the 3rd day, do this and live, for I fear Elohim. If you are trustworthy, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, and you go, bring grain for the scarcity of food in your houses, and bring your youngest brother to me, and let your words be confirmed, and you do not die. And so they did. And they said to each other, truly, we are guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the distress of his life when he pleaded with us, yet we did not listen. That is why this distress has come upon us. They aren't even conferring with Yahweh at all. They're just thinking about what happened and why this is happening to them. No concern whatsoever for Yahweh and what he thinks. Interesting. Verse 22, and Reuben answered them, saying, did I not speak to you, saying, do not sin against the boy? And you would not listen. See, his blood is now required of us. And they did not know that Joseph understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. And he turned himself away from them and wept, but came back to them and spoke to them. And he took Simon from them, and bound him before their eyes. And Joseph commanded, and they filled their sacks with grain, also to put back every man's silver in his sack, and to give them food for the journey. And thus it was done for them. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain and went from there. And as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw his silver, for there it was in the mouth of his sack. And he said to his brothers, my silver has been returned, and there it is, in my sack. And their hearts sank, and they were afraid, saying to each other, what is this that Elohim has done to us? So they're just taking it, they haven't conferred with Yahweh or anything, they're just saying, oh, we're being punished by Elohim. Verse 29, so they came to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan, and reported to him all that befell them, saying, the master of the land, spoke to us harshly, and took us for spies of the land. But we said to him, we are trustworthy, we are not spies. But we are 12 brothers, sons of our father, one is no more, and the youngest is today with our father in the land of Canaan. And the master of the land, said to us, by this I know that you are trustworthy. Leave one of your brothers here with me, and take food for the scarcity of food of your households, and go. And bring your youngest brother to me. Then I know that you are not spies, but that you are trustworthy. I give your brothers to you, and you move about in the land. And it came to be as they emptied their sacks, that look, the bundle of each man's silver was in his sack. And when they and their father saw the bundles of silver, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said to them, You have bereaved me. Joseph is no more, and Simon is no more, and you would take Benjamin? All this is against me. So Reuben spoke to his father, saying, Take the lives of my 2 sons, if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I myself bring him back to you. But he said, excuse me, verse 38. But he said, My son is not going down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If any harm should come to him along the way in which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to Sheol. And that's 42. It's very telling that none of the sons of Jacob are conferring with Yahweh the way that Isaac did or Abraham. They've forgotten the Elohim, except for that they're being punished for their brother being, that they think, they're not sure if he's dead or they carted him off somewhere or whatever. They just know he's gone. But they haven't asked Yahweh anything. They haven't prayed. They haven't even repented for their dirty deeds. So, Yahweh has a plan. And he is forcing them to come to Mizraim to bow down to Joseph. And they don't even know it is Joseph yet. But his dream, the prophecy that he dreamed, is being fulfilled. Yahweh always has a purpose for everything he does. So, it's interesting to see, isn't it, gang? And I hope that for those that have never read any of this before, I hope you're understanding it, and I hope that you're absolutely interested in what is going on here, because there's so much here. We're reading it at a kindergarten level. I'm pointing out certain things here and there that first-timers, second-timers, and third-timers probably would never even notice. But we need to point these things out to help you with your growth, to help you to understand what is going on in Genesis. Okay? So, once again, if you just caught this video for the first time, please go back to Genesis 1:1 and start there and read along, okay? It's so important that you read along with me for a complete understanding. That way you see it and you hear it, okay? And if you do go back to Genesis 1:1, we'll be right here waiting for you, okay? So don't rush it. Just take it in nice and easy, a little bit at a time, so that you understand. That's all that's important, is that you understand. Okay? Alright. Thank you for joining me on our Sabbath. What a wonderful blessing it is for Yahweh our Elohim to bless us with this day of rest. And we'll understand more about that as we get further into the Torah. As we get into Leviticus, it explains all of that. Okay? All of the laws. And then you'll understand those better. Also. Alright. Thank you, everybody. And I hope you all have a wonderful Sabbath. Yahweh bless each and every one of you. Shalom.